Alright. Welcome to a proof of life concept where I prove I am alive. Today's question or topic is this fear I have. This fear of uncertainty. But I'm going to start the clock here on my phone so I could prevent myself from rambling too much. I have this fear of emptiness. I have this fear that everything I'm doing, that everything I'm living for is for nothing, that there is no meaning behind it. I have this fear, this anxiety, that everything I'm doing is worthless, that everything I do has no substance, that there's nothing real behind what I'm doing. I have this fear. And it messes with me when I write. It messes with me when I speak out and create and do all these things, when I express myself. I have this fear of emptiness. I have this fear that when I accomplish all that I wish to accomplish, these dreams, the success, I fear that I will feel this numbness, this indifference away from this love I so desire. I fear that I will be empty. And I pray that I won't. I know that maybe this is the world blinding me from what I should really be focused on, what I should really be focused with. Because I think there's a reason why I feel this emptiness. There's a reason why I feel this anxiety. And I appreciate you taking the time to slow down with me as I speak out my thoughts. But I fear because I have this feeling I cannot comprehend sometimes, where I feel like everything I'm doing has no reason behind it. But I know there's a reason. I know there's a good reason as to why I am here, and that is love. But it's so easy to say that. It's so easy to say that, but when you're in that moment, when you're in that negative feedback loop, this emptiness, this blank space, you cannot help but feel this anxiety, this fear. Because this fear is a mechanism. This fear is what makes us human. This fear is what has allowed us to survive all these years. Fear is what creates meaning, I think. Because if there was no fear, what would there be to overcome? So I'm grateful for having this fear. I'm grateful towards it. And maybe that does create meaning in itself, but I still have this fear. I still have this anxiety. And I wish for it to be gone. I wish for it to not be there because it paralyzes me. It makes me hesitate. It makes me indecisive. And it clutters my mind. But I think there's a weird paradox here. There's a weird contradiction, this nuance that emptiness also gives peace. When you clear your thoughts, when you're empty, when you are blank in your thoughts, there is a sense of peace. There is a sense of relief, of reprieve. So I want to explore this contradiction more because I think there's power in this contradiction, the tension that it holds. There is power in contradiction, holding that tension, because I do feel at peace when my mind is blank. I do feel at peace when my mind is not cluttered, when my soul is not cluttered. And it's so common that when your thoughts are cluttered, you feel empty. And we are afraid of feeling empty. At least I'm afraid of feeling empty. It's an interesting paradox, though, when you clear your head, when you clear your mind and empty it out, and write out all these thoughts, document all these thoughts, express these thoughts and emotions, you feel at peace. because you're emptying yourself out. When you empty yourself out, you clear the clutter, you clear the junk, the mess that's all inside of you, the chaos that's inside of you, the entropy, this equilibrium that we all live through, this imbalance. But even in the end, when you empty out yourself, you'll still be in flux. You'll still return back to the chaos, because this is a constant flux, the crux of life. Alright, already 5 minutes in. But when your mind is cluttered, when your soul is cluttered, you do feel it. You do feel the chaos, and you want to return to emptiness. But when you feel the love, when you get everything you want, you fear that you will be empty. When you have everything, do you have this fear that you will be empty? I'm talking to myself, really. I'm talking to myself. Talking to the camera here. Because I wish for myself to find peace. There are days where I do have peace. And it's crazy how quick that peace can be disrupted by your own thoughts, your own self-scrutinizing thoughts. It's crazy how your inner peace can be disrupted by these little things. I wish to have the courage to overcome this fear. I wish to not hesitate. I wish to not be paralyzed by it. Because there is hope in motion. I do not wish to stagnate. I think that's why I fear emptiness, because of the stagnation that it could bring. Because I think in death, you feel the stagnation, you feel the emptiness, and you feel like there's nothing there. And blank thought. I don't know. I just need to take a pause for a moment. Because I still do feel this anxiety. I still do feel it. And this is a process of me emptying my thoughts out. This past week, I was talking with my dad, and we were having a conversation on what I've been working on. And I came from a place of scarcity. I came from a place of desperation as we were talking. And I could feel myself feeling empty. I could feel myself grasping towards connection, desiring love and connection as if it wasn't already there. And I hate how I came from that place of scarcity. I hate how I felt in that moment, because it makes you want to lash out. It makes your love turn to anger, towards the hate. But you don't want to hate. You don't want to feel empty. You want to feel loved. And I did want to feel loved in that moment. And it's crazy how language and words get in the way between what you desire and what actually comes out. What you speak out does not always reflect what's within. And that's the problem we all face. We all desire connection. We all desire for love. But we get it confused, and we chase after it in unlikely places of where we could actually find it. But it comes from within. It always comes from within, and it's always there. We just move away from it. We drift away from it. We grow disconnected and untethered from it because of our fear. it is because we have this fear, it pushes us away from this thing we want, love. Because we are so afraid of losing it, we're so afraid of not having it, it makes us push away, it makes us desperate, it makes us despair. It makes us mean, it makes us sad. And no one likes feeling that way. I sure don't. But when me and my dad were finally able to communicate what we were really feeling inside, we were able to get a breakthrough, able to feel a breakthrough moment. And I'm so grateful for that. I'm so grateful to have this connection with my dad. And I know not everyone does, but it takes work, it takes time, it takes many passes. And you have to meet people where they are. You have to meet people where they are at. And that's the tricky part. That's what makes this whole process messy. That's what makes it so hard, because the fear often gets in the way. This feeling of emptiness gets in the way while we empty ourselves out, while we empty our hearts out to each other, while we empty ourselves out to each other, because that is a very vulnerable thing to do. And it takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of courage to empty yourself out in front of those that you love, in front of people, in front of anyone you talk to. And you don't always want to empty yourself out to everyone, of course. There are certain things you want to keep private. But the better you are at communicating, the better you are at expressing and emptying yourself out, the less you bottle it up, the less you feel empty. The more you're able to let go and empty yourself out, the less empty you feel. And that's a crazy paradox there. That's a crazy contradiction. Because the more you give, the more you feel. But there goes my light. The light has died, but I still have this light. Maybe I'll move you closer here. I don't know. I've just been feeling this emptiness because I have this rush towards life. I want to get things done. I want to get to my dreams faster, to my aims faster, to a certain lifestyle faster. And I feel like things like writing the book is getting in the way of my life, and it feels like my dreams are at odds with what my inclinations are. And maybe this is going into a little weird tangent, but I think it is related, because I feel empty. I feel empty from this pursuit, from this drive towards material things, towards aims that weren't really mine to begin with. And it makes me feel at odds with myself, because my dreams, they're at odds with these other desires, these worldly desires. And I have this message, and I hope that my message isn't tarnished or tainted by this need for money, this need for validation, this need and desperation. But it gives me material to write about, and I'm at odds with myself, and I hate trying to seek out attention. I hate this monkey behavior of trying to dance for the camera. And I hope that doesn't come off like this. I hope I'm being honest and real with you, and I'm able to connect with you truly. Because attention presupposes love and faith. I think it was Simone Weil that says this. Attention presupposes love and faith, and attention has become a currency, because what we pay attention to, what we attend to, rules what we love, rules what we have put our faith in. And it's crazy how much of our attention is spent on things that don't matter. Because the culture wants us to buy into it. And if the culture doesn't work for you, you have to have the courage to not buy the culture. I got that quote from Tuesdays with Maury. Shout out Maury. Great book. Definitely recommend. But if the culture doesn't serve you, the culture doesn't align with you, don't buy it. And I have struggled with this because I'm buying into the culture because I think it's what I should be doing. Because I'm at odds. I don't know what I should be doing. Because it feels like my dream contradicts everything that I'm inclined to do. This sense of obligation towards what I should be doing. And I know because I want to provide, I want to give. And maybe it feels as if my writing feels like a fool's errand. And I hate this feeling that I'm foolish, but I need the courage to be the fool. But I'm afraid because I'm afraid that I will feel empty. I'm afraid that as I go through this journey, I will feel empty. But I'm not. I'm not empty. I do have this love within me. I don't know why my mind goes there. I don't know why I have this fear. But I do know why, because I am human. And that's what makes me human. That's what makes this whole endeavor human. It's a messy process, but it's a beautiful process. Wow. Well, I'll try and wrap it up here. I really appreciate you taking the time to slow down with me as I work through my emotions here, talk about my feelings. As I've been writing the book, working on projects, trying to get attention, because I want to give love to those that give me who attend to me, who attend to my thoughts. I wish I could attend to your thoughts. I want to be able to attend and be present with people. I think that's what I wish and desire. But we only live on this earth for so long. The mind may be infinite, but our lives are not. Fear. I'm grateful for this fear. I'm grateful for this drive towards life. I'm grateful for this struggle. I have to remind myself. I have to remind myself of who I am. I have to remind myself of what is within me, what is within my soul. I have to remind myself that I am alive, that I am filled with love. And fear cannot take that from me. I will not let fear take that from me. To have courage is to have love. You need love. Empty yourself out. Empty the love you have within you to others, and you will be filled. And you wouldn't have to worry about emptiness because you give it away. You give it all. You give it all, and love flows back right into you. I must have faith in this. I must have faith in love. I must have faith in my soul. I must have faith in God. I must have faith in the universe. I must be strong and steadfast with my courage to carry love, to carry this message. I love you. Thank you for watching. Be sure to subscribe. Check out my Live Life letters. I've also been trying to post on social media, on Instagram specifically. And it drains me. It makes me feel empty to participate in there. But I have to meet people where they are at. I have to meet people at where they're willing to pay attention to. I cannot fault people for not being attentive to me, to always be attentive to what I'm thinking about, because the world is filled with so many distractions. And I wish not to waste your time here. I hope your attention is spent well here with me as you're attending my thoughts to my garden of ideas. But really, really pay attention to your attention. Really be attentive to yourself. Be attentive to your fears and how they make you feel and how you react. Now I'm just rambling, so now I need to just finish it out. But I'll see you could go now. Alright. Well, you made it to the bonus part. Guys, I don't know what I'm doing with this. I feel the pressure. I don't want to, with all my other projects, with the startup I'm doing, I feel like I have to sell stuff. But the sell is human, right? The sell is human. I cannot forget service over self when it comes to providing and giving services and stuff like that. Because I think the pressure of trying to provide for myself, provide for my future is very strong right now. And that's why, that's been my main conflict. I think the root of my emptiness, the root of my stress, the root of my anxiety is this idea that I will not be able to provide in the future. But I must stay faithful to my dreams, or I will regret it for the rest of my life. I cannot imagine myself not chasing my dreams. Alright? And I will not lose myself in this pursuit of my dreams. I will enjoy the journey. Okay, that's enough. That was enough of a ramble, but see you next week.